Cool. So I work from Shopify. I just wanted to talk about, I've been talking to a bunch of people and they're all involved in e-commerce, and I figured I'd share some information there. So I'm going to get this out there. I'm a Ruby developer, so deal with it. But everything I'm talking about is entirely like general purpose. So another title for my presentation is How We Make It Rain. So Shopify checkout, like the checkout process, as most people know, is the most important aspect of your entire e-commerce platform. And if it goes down, that's kind of bad. So previously what we had done, this is about a year or two ago, is people would go through the checkout process. They'd click on the submit form, which would send their credit card information off. And then we'd wait for anywhere between 1 and 30 seconds. What's awesome about third-party integration is third parties have a tendency to go down, even whenever we're not, and it makes us look bad. So what happened is we went in and changed some things up. So we have this thing called the chive, and they have a tendency to do this. They used to do this to us. So it was like throwing a brick inside of Shopify, and then we'd fall apart, and it was really painful. And then all of the people at the chive would get really mad and like get really angry at us. So we wanted to reduce the amount of table flipping. So the way our checkout works is you find a product you want to buy, you add it to your cart, you fill out some information, and then you submit this. What happens is whenever you submit it, for PCI compliance, none of this goes to Shopify, goes off the card server, and then comes back with a token. So, and then a bunch of magic happens in the background, and people don't really know about it. So the way that magic works is, so people post their credit card data, that goes up to card server, it does some validation. If it's bad, it sends them back to the checkout page, being like, hey, your credit card was bad, whatever. If it's good, it generates a token and sends that back to our order handler. That's effectively just a page that runs JavaScript, and every 5 seconds, before it does that, it pushes something in the background. We use rescue, pushes into the background. That's actually what does all the heavy lifting. And then every 5 seconds, we're querying that, being like, hey, is that job done? What's the status of it? And then we do it, run through, and process their orders. So what this has done is it allows, we've managed to move all of that heavy lifting into the background. And if you're ever dealing, and like it's the biggest scalability one you'll get. So this is now the Chive people, now that they've gotten their Keep Calm and Chive On shirts. And the biggest win for us is we've managed to scale up to like 200,000 requests a second. So that's like people, like, because the Chive has like lots of flash sales, so that's people like F5ing us to get their shirts, and we can do something like 6,000 checkouts a second. So it results in a lot of like GMV going through our product. So anyway, I just wanted to give a quick little breakdown of how we do our stuff, and as I figured I should put here, we're also hiring. So.
Chris?
I have a question. Well, the next person sets up. You take the people's credit card, it goes to the card server. If the data is obviously invalid, that obviously comes back, and right away the order says, hey, no, I can't handle this. Other than that, it goes through, and I'm assuming that at that point you tell the user, yeah, I think we're going to process your order. You tell them right away. But in the background, you still have to do some kind of credit card processing that goes through some synchronous call that can take up to 30 seconds. So is there still a relatively common failure mode where the users think they have successfully checked out, but you're going to have to tell them, actually, I'm sorry, it didn't go through?
Yeah, so while we're still querying, like if like that is the credit card processor, so like something like Stripe or whatever, what we do is that's the part where we're doing more of the hitting the like the bank and stuff. So if their card was refused because they didn't have enough like funds or something like that, we then return them back to their checkout page, also entering them, being like, hey, your credit card was rejected, enter a new credit card, and then we go through that process again. So we do have a lot of failure modes because there's a lot of failure that can happen through a checkout process, and we do handle all of that. It's just we offload, instead of having the browser wait or having the connection wait for 30 seconds and then having Unicorn like kill everything, we just do it in a background job, and then every 5 seconds or whatever we find what the status is, and then if it's bad, redirect them back to their payment page.
So that's separating the, yes, we have received your order and you're absolutely going to get a t-shirt once we've actually cleared your credit card, from the actual clearing your credit card.
Yes.
Thanks.